Welcome back for another video on Elex II. So I just wanted to do a recap on this. I actually recently did the worst mistake that we as gamers have all probably done, and that's had a game where you had multiple choices to do. You picked the wrong choice thinking it would be cooler, and that has to do with our good old faction pals that I've been doing. If you've seen a couple of my last videos, at the grotto with the Morcons. I'm sure we've all have been there. For those of you who have played it, their gear looks freaking awesome. Their theology is a little off. Well, I went ahead and went through the couple last missions. One consists of going with one of the faction members for a final test after making the important members of the faction support you. Your last mission is you go out with a gentleman, I think his name was Vlad, something like that, and it entails you basically doing a little pit stop at a trading post, and then another part where you've got to kill a couple of, let's find those beasties, cave birds. Definitely not hard to do. There's like 4 or 6 of them. It's pretty easy stuff. But after you do that, the final test is to kill a Cyclops. Which, where I am for my abilities and my attributes was a little bit difficult, but it wasn't that bad. I actually did not have the gear that I had on or the stats. I actually had, this enhanced slaughter club, and it didn't too bad. My companions, Kaja and obviously Vlad, they died pretty fast, but I was able to basically sweep in, hit him with a heart attack, sweep out. If you get too far, it'll shoot you with a the Cyclops will shoot you with a beam of light. So he's not your typical Cyclops, but let's go ahead and let's see if go over it and just look at him real fast. Let's look. Where is he? Probably one of the tougher bosses that I've had to deal with. Where is he? He's here somewhere. We're gonna find him. If you notice, these things are not in alphabetical order. So let's just go through each one of them. Oh no! So those birds that you had to deal with in this mission were screamers, not the cave birds, like I said. But you know the screamers are easy. You know, you can hit them with a heart attack and they basically go down. Or you can just do the same old trick I've always told everybody: do the stagger, makes them fall over. Then you can do a heavy hit and you get a bonus on them. But let's see. I'm pretty sure they would have added him to the beast log here, even though I'm not seeing it. But this is basically the final mission that you have to do before the Morcons will let you join them. And I'm not seeing it here for some weird reason. It's kind of weird. No, it's not here. That's weird. Oh, you know what? You know what, guys? It's not there because I actually, after doing that mission, I beat the Cyclops. I came back and come to find out, the Great Khan, the little words Mr. Khan, basically tells you how he had some kind of epiphany or dream or whatever you want to call it, and now he dreamt of you being the next leader, which he doesn't tell you that at first. You have to go to the I guess what you would call their religious leader, equal to their pastor, and he basically says, you know, the Great Khan has envisioned that Ravak has given him a vision that you'll be the next leader. But in order for him to become the next leader, he has to die in combat. I ended up fighting him. I did some stagger moves, and then I basically would hit him with a couple heavy hits. He wasn't really that hard. After which he dies, and the guy tells you all his belongings belong to you, and now you're the new assigned leader. Now, unfortunately, you do get an awesome weapon, which obviously I don't have here. But and on top of that, you also get to start using some of the, let's see, the Morricon's ability, one being Call for Blood. By using it, it allows your health level, it basically self-inflicts damage on you. The more damage you have on you, depending on these skills that you have on, the higher your attack, the higher your defense, and so forth. So more, I would say these are more for those guys who have played this and are a little bit more skilled than myself. But you know, like you get higher stamina, or let's start up here. You know, this inflicts it. Now, in order for these to work, you have these rights. So these rights are basically buffs that are always on you once you activate them, but you can only have one buff at a time. Now, depending on how much health you have gone, the buff works better. I really didn't enjoy this because, yes, you do got to lower your health. And until you really get into the game, health is real low. Equipment that you have is still low. I'm only level 17, and my inventory is still what I would say pretty mediocre. This is my highest one that I've got. It's 102 damage, but I've only got one skill slot in there, which is a +3 bonus experience. I've seen a couple other ones like this one that I've already enhanced, but it's only 97. It's got 2 empty sockets. Now, obviously, you can take your gems or your sockets that go in there, and then you can upgrade them up to 4 tier, and they get a pretty good bonus on them. But like I'm saying, where I'm at right now, my armor's still pretty low, and I don't have no faction armor because I end up unloading or reloading an older load that I had, because, and this was how I wanted to start this, I just wasn't I wasn't excited about what the Morricons brought to the game. The other thing that really sucks is once you join the Morricons, you cannot use any more of these other factions. So I end up going back, and what's crazy is once you join a faction, you basically start as a tier 1 soldier, and then you work yourself up to being better ranked in the Morricons, and as you rank up, you get that sweet gear that you see. And I'm pretty sure it's the rest with the rest of the factions. So after playing with the Morricons for a minute, I did not like them, so I ended up going 4 hours behind my gameplay. But I just wanted to put that in there for you that are thinking of going Morricon. If you're really not a technical player who is really good at fighting certain styles, knows when to attack, and is a very technical player, it's probably not the best for you. I'm not the best technical player. I wouldn't say I'm bad, but I didn't like the style myself. Inflicting, up to, I think you could do up to 60% damage that you have at all times, because at the right, or the little prayer stone that they do, you can actually have a constant like debuff on your health. So for instance, you can debuff your health all the way down to, I think, 40%, which then helps these right here be a lot better. And obviously, if you're really good at combat and being a technical fighter, and then these are great because they give you really good buffs. But for me, I didn't like it, so I ended up going back and reloading. So where I'm at now, I first went to go talk to the clerics. I thought the cleric stuff was kind of cool. I did not want to go back to the Alps, and the reason why is because I felt like, the last game he came out as an alb, but excuse me. Come to find out, in order to become an alb, or in order to become a cleric, you have to start with the albs, which brought me to the understanding that there is other factions that you can join and still use some of the other skills, which I find totally cool. So, with that being said, excuse me, I got my builds over here, and this is where I'm at now. And one of the things I wish I would have started doing earlier, and I would recommend anybody that's starting, is get these right here. Now, unfortunately, you've got to work on cunning and intelligence to get these right away. That's kind of what sucks, because you really want to work on your strength to get your melee, which sucks. But sorry about that. The reason I say that is, I struggled in the beginning because I needed my strength up for some of these better weapons. But the reason I say these are pretty critical to start out with, unless you're going to just take your time. But up to level 5, you get 10 additional attribute points, which help, in here. And you'll notice as you climb up here, you start using attribute points by the 2s. And so those 10 attribute points that you get per level is not a lot. And so what I'm worried about now is me not being able to cap these out to be able to get some of these levels. So I would recommend getting these. Maybe start out, because I'm thinking, and my thinking could be wrong on this, but if you get these earlier in the game, you'll get more points in the long run. So that's just what I have right now. Starting out, I also got my lock picking. Still working on that. I got enough get it. I just need an LP skill for that. Obviously, I put LP skills and other stuff because it's used for your rockets too. I did this, reduces requirements for the use of melee weapons. That's really good because, as you guys have noticed, that I've said the weapons, they're what you have to have for criteria is crazy. So it takes a while to get up there. Moved on to that, I did finally get attack uninspecting opponents from behind, increasing your damage. That helps out a lot because as you work on your sneak or your silent attack, it's easier to walk up to people. I also did this ranged weapon specialist. I haven't been really using ranged weapons, but maybe I wasted a skill point. I don't know. Then grants you natural protection, making you tough as nails. I wish I kind of would have done this one earlier too, but I'm only level 17, so maybe I haven't messed myself up. And then food, I use that because I noticed in this right here, I've been doing nothing but using food to heal myself. I haven't been using potions as much, and that's only because you got to have your levels up for your potions, and higher level potions, you got to have those skills up quite a bit, which kind of sucks. But moving on, and then my stamina, I started finally working on that. Because if you notice, stamina goes by so fast. So I'm hoping by my level going up farther, I'm hoping that I'll have that better. So we'll just have to see how that one goes. When I went to where I'm at right now, when I went to, I'm actually here to go see Hector in what I call this garbage town, or whatever you want to call it. Actually, you know what? I think I'm actually on there. The bomb at Blue Pixels right here. When you go to Crater City, that's what it's called. There's a guy named Hector, which is in the previous game, from what it seems like. He teaches you finally the good old skill of pickpocket. And I will tell you guys this. as long as you don't get caught, it doesn't affect your efficient or your good bad bar down there. But I will tell you, it is crucial. I've loved it since I got it. I wish I would have got it earlier, but as you can tell, dexterity's got to be kind of high just for that first level, and your cunning's got to be kind of high. So there's so many skill sets on here of what you want to do. You've kind of you've got to give to, or you've got to lose some to get some, but I've played equally around the board, but I will say this right here has been pretty cool. What sucks is right now at level 1, I can basically get away with almost pickpocketing everybody, almost, but I only usually take one item, and at that point then they notice me. So I'm hoping once I get up to that 25% of that 50, I'm hoping the pickpocketing will be nice, because some of these weapons are quite expensive, and why not? It's always fun to do that. And I think this is what I was talking about, to create chems and potions. I can only create simple, and if you look at your intel and your dexterity, they've got to be kind of up there. So you've really got to pick what you want to do. This one I started out early. You can loot animals for teeth and claws. I only did that because I'm always looting those type of characters in here. So they help with putting a little bit of coinage. We already talked about this additional attribute thing, so I haven't really touched on any of these. I really don't want to waste anything on XP, because my feeling on XP buffs on games like this is ridiculous. Only because if you've got 5 different factions, you've got 6 different companions or more. Each of the companions, as I've said in previous videos, has their own storylines within, and so you get to do their missions up until, I'm sure, a point where if you go too far into the main mission, it'll kill their missions. But if you don't, you're gaining all that XP. So I always think in games like this that are long, and you like to grind like I do, don't waste it on XP. You're going to get there as long as you're grinding anyways. So why waste some very valuable LP and points, unless, hey, let's say, well, no, we can't even say that, because there's got to be a level cap. So where you see all these skills, you might have the ability of not being able to get up a skill. So why waste it on something you're going to get anyways? But so here we are now, where now we're doing factions. I will say this, where I'm at right now, I did follow the avenue of let's see, when I was working with the Berserkers to help the claws out. I think this is like a minor faction. It's because they are a faction of thieves. They're underground. They were kind of pushed out of their settlement, but I will say this: there's like another faction that's like that too, at the Morcons. Except if you join that faction, you have to join the Morcons. So the Morcons have 2 factions: one that worships one god, one which worships the other. I will tell you this: for the Morcons, you have to join the Morcons no matter what to do either or faction. So that's the only caveat there. As in the claws, I was able to join them, and I'm still able to join these other ones. So I haven't crushed over what I want to do yet. I'm kind of I kind of don't want to do the Albs, because it's like, hey, he was already an Albs commander. Let's try something different. But like I told you guys before in my previous videos, I didn't play the last videos, so I can't really. But who knows? Kaja's pretty awesome with her fire abilities. So who knows? So I haven't decided. I'm working the Albs missions right now. Basically, once you get to the Albs, he's hated, because it seems like he kind of abandoned his own people. And starting out in there, a bomb gets planted, and they're having hard times with being able to feed their own faction, and with Elex II, because that's how they get their power. Which was also my throwback on why I didn't want to do them, because I didn't really want a power I didn't want to have to do extra skills that were based on some kind of supplemental power. But then again, when I really thought about it, so you look at the Berserkers, it's mana, magic. It's the common trait there. We all know that, but there's going to be mana, stuff for that. But Elves is the same thing. Alexid is equal to mana. And then you have the Outlaws, which is these are just chems. I haven't even really looked at them. But Underfluence Stems give you a 50% penalty on experience. Rest for runner chems that allow you to run faster. Stamina that regenerates your stamina faster. Onto the fluence, you get 50%. So these are stems I get. So everything has experience debuffs or handicaps. We'll put it that way. But again, it's on experience, and you guys already know my thing on experience. You're gonna get it. So, but you get, you get basic, your basic buffs on it. Poison. Basically, what would buff you down. Poisons have elongated damage. So, and then one just makes you run faster. One makes you regenerate. Now with the clerics, I was thinking about doing the clerics because in order to become a cleric, I have to start with the Alps. So I could be an Alp commander, but I also could be a cleric commander. So then my question is, if I'm one of those, can I also be a berserker? Like, I don't know yet because I haven't watched videos and I don't really watch videos. Because I don't want to have a spoiler alert in it. But I'm thinking if the clerics and the Alps do that, I'm wondering if I can also be a berserk commander, which would be pretty cool because you're thinking I could have fire magic, electrical Alexa magic, as I'll call it, and then let's see, instead of dying the last damage, so this is kind of like a save all, and then increase your resistance to reality damage. I haven't really hit into reality damage yet, and that's probably when I'll be fighting the end guys, but I don't know, we'll just see how that goes. But where I am at right now is basically after the bombing at the Alves commander site, we're looking for the guy who basically infiltrated and blew up, or was trying to blow up and mess up the Alves' ability to provide Alexit to their people, which obviously if they can't get Alexit, then they can't use their power because their power is, harnessed through Alexit. It's their equivalent to mana, like magicians. But that's where I'm at so far. Still, kind of like I said, I had to go back because as soon as I did the Morcons, I realized, well, shoot, I can't join any other faction, which really sucks because in these kind of games, you either want to play them over each time, hoping for a different ending, or you're going to want to play over every time to be able to play every faction, because every faction is going to have unique missions, which kind of sucks because now that I've returned to my old one, I gave up working for the Morcons, and like I said, when you go into each faction, it's not like you get there and then you get their gear. Yes, you get a better gear, but you still got to level up within the faction to be a better, it's like in the army, if you guys know, or any kind of police force or military force, you always start at a certain rank. So unfortunately, when you get to a faction, you start at the bottom grade, and then you got to work up. And some of these guys got some pretty cool armor, and it looks like the only way to get the pretty cool nasty armor that is just beef buffed is you got to start at rank 1 and go on up. But I've liked it so far. I recommend it for anybody who likes games like this. And
it's more and more difficult.
There's so many missions, it's crazy. But anyway, this is my video for y'all today. Any comments, or maybe you can answer me whether or not the faction grouping. What can I have and what can I not have? What can I group? What can I? I'd appreciate it. But anyway, if you like this video, I'll definitely post some more. If you want to see more gameplay as me as in playing, cool. I can do that. But I get lost in just playing in this for a long time, and you got to kind of be careful when you play these, because you got to really listen to dialogue, because sometimes some of that dialogue of part of a mission doesn't go back into your mission stuff, so you can kind of get lost. But so far, they're kind of good to keep track. Again, like I said, where I'm at right now. I'm in Crater Town looking for the guy who basically bombed us. And I got to start with all the guys. See what this guy says. I'm looking for Viper. He's expecting you. Oh.
Now where is he? Fucking clue.
And see, I'm with one of the other Alba officers. He's helping, and he's on the other side of this this town right here. And he told me, basically lay low and ask all the commanders. So that's what we're doing right now. And it's just a town full of crooks. It's it's comparison to when we play. If you play Fallout New Vegas, it's comparison to the boomers, I think, if I remember, the ones who took over the NCR prison, and then they end up revolting and taking over the prison. I'm pretty sure, if I remember, it's the boomers, but that's what this town is equipped to. It's the boomers, bunch of low-lives, criminals, people without money. There's not much here. It's not the best city, but that's what this is. Every criminal that is, like, I got ripped off for a gold bar the other day, and I ended up coming right back here to find the guy. There's a couple missions here where you've got to help some of the local vendors because they're getting beat up by some of these other guys. So it's nothing but, it's a vagrant town. But there's still good stuff here, and there's still a good story here. The funny thing is, Hector, which runs this place, is one of Jax's old friends from the previous game. Which again, I can't really comment on the previous game because I played it for a couple of minutes and then I deleted it because it was just that bad. But then again, I kind of feel guilty that I started with number 2 because the storyline goes into one another. So I kind of discredit this game by not playing it, but I really don't care because I didn't like the functions of the other game, and yeah, it is what it is. Now this little punk little woman right here, Scarlet, she's gonna ask you to go with her, and like us guys, we see a girl with stockings and want to act like a total douche, so she ends up coming over here with you, and you think she's gonna help you out. Well, she's gonna actually try to kick your ass in. The guys that are with her are like 4 or 5 people, and yeah, they're kind of hard. So, like I said, everything that's around here, and all these guys that you have to talk to, they're all interconnected, so look out for that.
I
Could, but why should I?
But why should I?
So go figure another one of the commanders doesn't want to help us out.
That's all. I'm sorry, but no. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not protecting you.
I don't know, simply put a car run in the shadows.
Unless you see his name on my board, you won't learn.
So yeah, everybody's protecting him, as usual. He's probably some murderer, some criminal of some sort. So, if you notice, this game is not the best game for everybody to play, especially if you're younger. There's a lot of profanity on here. Now, I know a lot of people out there, you guys don't have no problems with your kids for profanity, but this one takes the cake. There's probably an F-bomb or something, probably every other one, but just warning. Not that you guys shouldn't already know that, but anywho, that's that for this video. I'm going to continue looking for this guy, and like what you see, like, subscribe, and we'll definitely post some more on here because I still got quite a bit of gameplay on here, and I have yet to find out whether I'm to start all over to do these other factions. So we'll see y'all later.